not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hey y'all, it's Tasha. We are back with another review for Married at First Sight. Thank you so much for stopping into my channel. Do not forget to hit the thumbs up, comment in the comment section below, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed, y'all. So again, we are season 15, episode 2 of Married at First Sight. This episode, y'all, was boring. I don't know if I'm tired and maybe last week just took it out of me, but this week was just not giving, and I was struggling to stay awake and struggling to capture what is being said to make some notes for these episodes. But was it just me? Was y'all feeling the episode? Because I was not feeling the episode tonight, honey. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, of course, last week we saw Alexis and Justin get married. The internet is already not being so kind to Justin. Tonight we see that we're going to get 2 more weddings. I don't know why I thought we were going to get the other 4 weddings tonight. Girl, you know better. You know Married at First Sight is not going to give you that much content in the whole 2 hours that they have you captured and held hostage looking at this TV show, girl. So we'll have another couple weddings, or 1 more wedding next week, 2 more weddings potentially next week. And then I guess it'll be another 2-3 weeks before we actually get to honeymoons. Child, y'all know how it go. So the 2 weddings we're going to get tonight are Stacia and Nate and Lindy and Miguel. So first up is Stacia and Nate, and her bridesmaids show up, places all decorated with little I do balloons. She lets them know, listen up, once I get this makeup done, we ain't doing no more crying, okay? So get it all out now, because after this face gets beat, no more crying. So we then see Nate, his 6 straight back cornrows, getting ready with his groomsmen. Dr. Pepper lets us know they've been matched because he is fun and she is serious. So they'll balance each other out, and they both want to be a power couple. Anyway, we're going to just glide right on past that, y'all. So they're getting ready. Her mom says she's nervous because Stacia is particular about everything. And I'm just like, girl, and you chose to come on Married at First Sight and you particular about everything, which means you also particular about your man. Okay. But she, tells her that really get to know him. Don't let your fears stop you. But really kind of give him a chance, girl. Stacia says she just wants to know what his expectations are to be sure it really matches with hers. We then see Nate. He's getting all shaped up. He has to tell us again that he used to sell these knockoff LV bags. Now he's evolved enough to take this leap of faith, and he just hopes his wife is really understanding, because she ain't understanding. I don't think this is going to work. Okay, Nate. So we then see Stacia get dressed, and she looks great. Everyone starts to tear up. She gets a gift from Nate, which ends up being a Polaroid camera. And when they flip over to get to his gift that she got for him, is actually the same thing. She then gets the engagement ring from the sponsor, James Allen, this season. Her mom gives her a little encouraging speech to help calm her down a little bit. And she actually, kind of relaxes just a bit more. We then see Nate. He's all dressed up in his tux, which I completely hate. The color is cool, but I just don't know if I will ever get on board with this trend of these ankle pants and wearing these loafer type shoes with no socks. Maybe it's just not my generation. That's why. And I'm okay with that, but I still don't like it. So while he is walking out, they show her in the back. She's super nervous, wondering why none of her friends have talked her out of doing this. They show us Nate's friend, who looks like she's completely ready to object the wedding if she absolutely has to. Nate says his heart is pounding as he's waiting for Stacia to turn the corner. She finally comes with her beautiful mom walking her down. And of course, Nate is excited because she is beautiful. And production continues to be shady as they continue to flash over to the friend to get her reaction of, her face as she sees Nate about to meet his new wife, because we all think that her and Nate have probably smashed or has something going on. So therefore, she's going to be a little bit jealous of him actually getting married to this beautiful black woman, okay? So Nate family tells Stacia that there will never be a dull moment with him. He likes to hike, ride electric bikes, and they have to let us know he's a freak in the sheets. Information we could have done without? that piece. We didn't need to know that. They say that, you know, he's a deep thinker and he's a Devo, which I guess is a male version of a diva. They switch over to her and says that, you know, well, no, on him, they says that he loves hard, he will have her back, and he will give her his undivided attention. Stacia says she's independent, and they basically run down her resume. I'm like, I guess you're just letting them know this is what I'm working with, okay? But shares that she will always have her eyes on him because we learned that she sleeps with her eyes open sometimes. That is very much so weird, and that might be a deal breaker for me if I was him. Don't be looking at me and I think you awake and you sleep. We're not gonna play those kind of games. So they each say their vows to each other. They were just okay. No Justin or Alexis. They exchanged rings. They kissed, their husband and wife. And he just still looks just as lame and dorky as he did on the very first day we were introduced to him. I just cannot with him. Like, I'm really trying to not judge him so quickly, but it's really hard and I'm struggling with it, y'all, but I'm trying. So 2 couples down, 1 more to go for this episode. We go back over to Justin and Alexis as they meet back up with their family and friends, and they are taking wedding pictures. And the main thing that I am wondering is, why do these wedding pictures look so ghetto? I noticed that as I was trying to find pictures of the couples before the season started, to use as like thumbnails and such. And I was like, why does the background look like, you know, it has cars in the back? There's really no real backdrop that is going. It looks real ghetto like, and I'm not here for it. Married at First Sight, y'all could have done a much better job on these backdrops of these weddings this season, because it's pretty much all of them. It's like somebody just, you know, took out their iPhone and was like, yo, stay right here. I know it's a Honda over here, but it's all right. We can crop that out later. But then they never end up actually cropping it out. Anyway, they both smiling. They smiling and they smiling some more, honey. They cannot stop smiling. They cannot stop kissing. And I'm like, well, maybe she actually does like him. Who knew? But, you know, she says she'll maybe keep him for a little bit. He says he'll fall in love with her. Justin, slow down. Slow down, sir. So back over to Nate and Stacia. They're getting some alone time. And I hate to say this, y'all, but Stacia, the way she was like flashing the ring and was like, I'm a wife, I'm about to be a wife. She's giving me the vibes of she really kind of just wanted the title of a wife. I'm not sure, and I'm not 100% sold yet on if she wants a marriage. They're 2 different things. Just like some people can want the wedding and not the marriage. Some people can want the title of a wife, but you really don't want to put in the work to actually be married. You just want to say, this my husband, girl. My husband bought this for me. I'm a whole wife. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting. I hope I'm wrong, but that's initially what I'm getting from her, okay? So the first question he asks her is if she found him attractive. She says yes, and I'm like, of course, that would be the first question from him. In my opinion, he ain't attractive, but if she like it, I love it. So he asks about her real estate job, and she kind of tells him what she does. He then tells her what he does for a living. They both work remotely, so they're going to be spending a lot of time around each other, which could make or break you in these first couple weeks of marriage, child. Like, that's going to be a whole lot, okay? So she tells him that she's extremely clean, and her house pretty much looks like a model home. He says he's clean too, but of course not to the extent that she is. Y'all, this whole segment was completely pointless. And I hate that Married at First Sight feels like they have to give us these pointless scenes just to extend the episode to make it to 2 hours. Listen, take a note out of Netflix book with Love is Blind. They can give us a whole season in 10 episodes, and we don't feel like we have missed nothing of the whole storyline, okay? Y'all can do the same exact thing, okay? Cut out some of this fluff and either cut the episodes down or give us more content in the episode to make it worth our while to sit here for 2 hours. So it's now Stacia and Nate's turn to meet up with their family and friends, take pictures. He says he's excited because he got what he wanted. Of course, he is only talking about looks because y'all have only talked for all of 2 minutes at this point, so you don't really know her. So as they're taking pictures, he then grabs her by the waist and tells her, "Oh, you have a small waist too, and I like that." Oh gosh, she's such a cornball, y'all. But she seems to love it, and she's ecstatic for whatever reason, child. I don't know. Guess it's just the excitement of it all. So we then see them at their reception doing their first dance. She asks what was his first impression of her, and he said, "Well, you know I smile, and if I smile, you know, that means you're beautiful, and I mean, you turned the corner and you look good as..." Okay, Nate. He says her body language is just magical. You know, her body is everything that he wanted. And he really kind of has to prove that he can be everything that she needs because, you know, he's just feeling something between the two of them. Okay, Nate. So now it's Alexis and Justin's turn for their first dance. She's really about to break her neck trying to look up to him, like literally like her neck can't bend back no further, honey, because she is struggling trying to look up at his 6'8" self. He says he's finding it easy to be himself around her. They really don't feel like strangers. And he tells her as they're dancing that, because she asked him, I believe, when was his last kiss, and he was like, probably about a year and a half ago. She was like, "Wow, your last kiss." So while the door's already open, he walks right on through and says, "Oh, and by the way, I've been celibate also for the last year and a half." And she is like, okay, that's news to me. And then she feels the need to go ahead and tell about he's been celibate, y'all, for the last year. And that was not information we needed to share with the rest of the class at that time, Alexis. You could have shared that in your private time with the girls later. But while y'all doing the first dance, no, ma'am. But I do want to make a note here that after watching other reviews last week and then looking at some of the Married at First Sight chat on Instagram, I kind of realized after seeing a comment why Justin, it was just something about him that seemed a little bit off. And I saw a comment that says he has some feminine features, like just the really full lips, like his brows. He has high cheeks. His skin is impeccable. I ain't mad at that at all. But it seems it's giving off feminine features. And I think I couldn't really pinpoint why I felt like something was off. But when I saw that comment, I was like, that's what it is as well. You know, again, if she likes it, kudos to her. But that's the vibe that it's giving me. No tea, no shade. It's just my opinion. So then we see Married at First Sight backtrack 11 days before the wedding. And then we have to basically do the same thing all over again that we just did for Justin and Alexis and Stacia and Nate for Lindy and Miguel. And I was so annoyed because I thought them cutting down, showing the dresses and the tux to the two couples last week, I thought it was going to be like, oh, we realized we don't need to show that for every couple, so maybe we'll just show y'all for two couples and then that's it. But we were played, and they're now going to back up and come back again and do the same thing for all the other couples. Anyway, he finds his tux, she finds her dress. Y'all know how this goes. So we then see Morgan and Ben. They go pick out their wedding day fits as well. And in this moment, as Ben is picking out his suit, I was like, can we just take a minute to acknowledge Ben's nice full lips and his pretty teeth? Like, he ain't my type at all, and I don't necessarily find him attractive like that. But I was just like, he has gorgeous lips and gorgeous teeth. Like, I'm here for it, okay? So we see Morgan is shopping for her dress, y'all, and I'm already not going into details about these dresses, but as I'm watching it, I'm like, they keep bringing out different variations of the same dress for all of these brides. Like, everything is sheer. Everything has some type of floral or some type of overlay attached with. Like, where is the Vera Wang dresses? Where is some other type of dresses? Because all these dresses just keep looking the same with like a twinkle of something different. And I'm not really that excited over any of them that I've seen so far. So, of course, Kristen and Mitch then do the same thing. She shares again that she has not told her dad. And she's like, if he isn't accepting, then I'm going to have a fit. Well, why again do you think this is a good idea to tell him on the wedding day if you're going to have a fit if he's not accepting of it? Huh? Make it make sense, girl. Make it make sense. So we then see Morgan on FaceTime with Dr. Pepper, and she said there was something last minute that they needed to go over, and she's like, I'm not sure what's happening, but she's is told that they have to postpone the wedding because Ben has got the vid, y'all, and they have to, of course, wait till they get married until he has tested negative. She then to start overthinking and says, what if he got cold feet instead? He actually does not have the vid. Girl, what? I'm pretty sure everybody has to get tested before they go on with these weddings. And if anybody tests positive, they would have to postpone the wedding. I'm sure Dr. Pepper would not come on here and see a negative COVID test from him, but go ahead and lie and say he has it just because he has cold feet. Girl, get out of my face with this. So it's now wedding day for Lindy and Miguel. Miguel is getting ready with his groomsmen and one groomswoman that we see. And his friend asks, the one thing he wants Miguel to do is to not shut down if she does not check off all 12 of your boxes. You realize you are kind of dating in reverse, so you just take it easy. So we then see Lindy is getting ready, and she and her brother are talking about basically their strict upbringing with their religion, how they couldn't have, a dance in school, they couldn't hold hands in school. We find out they couldn't even basically hug in school because any hugs they had to give one another, their chest couldn't even touch. So she's like, I haven't really danced that much. I'm kind of, nervous about the first dance. I'm like, can we say sheltered? Oh my gosh. Miguel says his biggest challenge is finding someone to steer the ship. And when he said that, I said, well, what does that mean? I need some assistance in clarifying what does that mean. What, you want the woman to steer the ship, which to me says you want her to lead the relationship or lead the family because she's steering y'all in the direction. Isn't that supposed to be your job? You steer the ship, she reads the map to make sure y'all stay on course. I mean, maybe I had to misinterpret it. If I got it all wrong, let me know in the comments below, okay? She says she wants someone to encourage her, but to also check her. And again, girl, which one do you want? Because I don't think you're going to get both. Because I believe the minute he tries to check you, you're going to say that he is stifling you, which you also don't want. So you need to pick a lane and stay in it. Because right now it is very much so confusing. We then found out Lindy's brother is walking her down the aisle because her dad is not supportive of this whole situation. She also gets her James Allen engagement ring. Miguel then, gets some tears and encouraging words from his sister before he is scheduled to walk down the aisle. He walks out. Lindsay's friends immediately start doing the homegirl tap in the air. Y'all know what it is when you're not touching your homegirl, but you like, y'all already know what all this means. So she's like, he's cute. And then her mom starts to cry. Lindy says she could either be meeting the man of her dreams or essentially the most toxic person ever. Lindy is going to get on my nerves. She walks down the aisle while she is holding up one side of her dress, and I wanted to tap her hand down the whole time. Put your hand down, girl. Just let the dress flow the way the dress is supposed to flow. She gets down there and gives him a hug. They share what their family and friends have had to say about them, and they let him know this is Dr. Lindy. Put some respect on her name. She's a physical therapist. They talk about, how she will be his best friend. He will be her biggest supporter. And then they said, wait a minute, you're going to put some respect on Miguel's name too because he is a doctor as well. He has PhD. And she was like, okay, I got a doctor too. All right, I'm here for it. All right. They exchange vows. They say I do. They're pronounced husband and wife. They kiss each other. But can we talk about the officiant for their wedding? Their officiant was the best hype man. Like the way he went about saying what their family and friends said about each other, the way he went about announcing them as husband and wife, I was here for it. He needed to officiate everybody's wedding because I absolutely loved him, okay? Miguel then immediately starts to tell her about the whole Dungeons and Dragons once they get some time alone. I'm like, you could have waited just a little bit, Miguel, maybe, till the honeymoon, the plane ride to wherever the honeymoon destination is going to be. But, no offense to y'all that are into that, but Dungeons and Dragons may not have been the best lead-in within the first, 5 minutes of y'all sitting down, not knowing each other at all, okay? She says she loves that he has a nerdy hobby and she thinks it's adorable. I'm like, yeah, until you start seeing him and all his friends, you know, dress up down to the comic book store, okay? They talk about what they do. He asks if she works remotely. Sir, she's a physical therapist. She probably does not work remotely. But she says that she works a ton and then she's off to vacation. So it made me curious about her actual employment status. I mean, I work in a healthcare system, but I don't know about the world of physical therapy and what their schedules may look like. So maybe she can work for a ton for a few months and then she has a few months off. I don't know, but he's like, hey, I work remotely, so all I need is Wi-Fi. So wherever you want to go, I'm down to go, okay? So Kristen and Mitch, they're the next couple up, and I just started to realize how annoying her voice is in this exact same scene. It's like Valley Girl mixed with something. I can't pinpoint it, but I'm just like, can we stop, you know, like dragging out words and talking with our nose? Like, can we just not do that, Kristen? That would be great. That would be great. So we then see that Mitch is already basically acting like the person of the season that has to keep reminding us that he's marrying a stranger. He doesn't know her. Kristen lets us know that she's been up since 4 a.m. because she woke up sweating and she's realizing her dad will be here soon. And I really have to tell my dad really what is going on because she originally has told him that it's just a matchmaking special. Okay, girl. We then see a barber come in for Mitch because he has hit himself in the head with something and you know he's balding a little bit, so you can see his little boo-boo on his head, so we need to get that all fixed up. Kristen then tells us that basically it's more about personality for her, not so much about the looks, and you know she wouldn't mind a brunette, but she also wouldn't mind a bald man. And I said, well, you know, you're getting a semi-bald man, you know, so I hope you like it. So the barber then cuts Mitch's hair, shapes up his beard, and honey, he goes to look in the mirror and he is not happy. I think he looks fine, but Mitch is definitely being the male version of a Karen at this point, having a fit over his beard. Sir, cut it out. You have bigger fish to fry. You're about to marry a stranger. Okay, cut it out. So Kristen is getting nervous as she starts to prepare for her dad's arrival. Mitch is being a complete groomzilla on the other side of the room while his friends are struggling to tie his bow tie. And I'm like, can y'all just not pick up your phone, Google a YouTube video real quick to learn how to tie this bow tie? Like, it should not take 3 grown men to tie a bow tie and y'all still can't tie it, okay? Then we hear a knock on the door and it is Kristen's dad. She starts to tell him a little bit more about the matchmaking journey. And at first she's like, you know, will they find me a match? And he was like, okay, cool, good. She then says, you know, well, with that match comes a legally binding marriage. And as she's talking to dad looks like he's about to have a complete heart attack on sight of how you go from matchmaking to now you're going to be in a legally binding marriage that is happening today. Today, girl? Okay. Daddy lets her know, I have gone on vacation with people before and hated them. And this is not a vacation. So I'm going to let you know right now that you are insane for wanting to go through with this. And that is how the episode ends. So we have to wait until next week to see if her dad is on board with the shenanigans of Married at First Sight and if he will actually be walking her down the aisle, y'all. But that is it for this episode. Again, I was not very excited. It barely kept my attention. So hopefully, I don't have high hopes for next week. I was about to say hopefully it's better, but I really don't have that much high hopes for next week. Hopefully the week after, once all the weddings are done and we can get on with getting these people to a honeymoon and we can start, you know, spilling to the tea and get into the drama of it all. But maybe it was just me, y'all. Let me know in the comments below how y'all felt about this episode and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.